2025 has given us a lot of awesome new games. In this video, I'm sharing 15 of the best-selling titles so far, based on sales in the US and Europe. Since many are on Xbox Game Pass and exact numbers are hard to track, the list order is random. It's Broz, and let's get started. Opening up our list is Avowed, a new RPG from Obsidian released on February 18, 2025. If you've played Pillars of Eternity, the setting will feel familiar. Same universe, but now in first person. The world isn't fully open like Skyrim, more like a series of large, contained zones. You play as an envoy of the Aedir Empire, sent to investigate a mysterious plague spreading through the land. Why did it end up among the bestsellers? Obsidian has a loyal fan base, and the market has been starving for single-player RPGs with solid writing and real consequences. It's not perfect, but it brings back a lot of what's missing today. Story depth, customization, and combat that doesn't feel like filler. The Spring 1.4 patch added an arachnophobia mode, spiders become floating balls, keyboard and mouse support on Xbox, and quality of life tweaks. Summer will bring revamped crafting, new NPC abilities, and rare gear. In the fall, New Game Plus arrives, a replay mode where your character keeps their progress, choices, and gear, plus photo mode, and a new weapon type that's still under wraps. Let's be real, calling it Skyrim-like is lazy. Avowed has its own pace, its own strengths. More importantly, it's alive and evolving, and that's a rare thing. The first Berserker Khazan is a hardcore action RPG from Neopal, released on March 27, 2025. It tells the story of Khazan, a former general betrayed and exiled, now on a path of revenge. Set in the Dungeon and Fighter universe, the game ditches the arcade feel in favor of a dark, grounded tone focused on personal drama. Combat revolves around stamina management. Every hit wears down both you and your enemy. If you time things right, you can land a brutal finisher that deals major damage and recovers stamina. There's no button mashing here, you need patience, timing, and focus to survive. The progression system lets you choose between different fighting styles like spears, greatswords, or dual blades. Each path offers unique abilities, so you can build a setup that fits your approach. A major update in May will introduce 2 boss rush modes, extra tough challenges for experienced players. Khazan earned its spot among 2025's bestsellers because it delivers something rare these days, a no-nonsense, brutal RPG that doesn't hold your hand and respects your time. Doom: The Dark Ages is the long-awaited prequel to Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal from ID Software, released on May 15, 2025. This time the action moves to an alternate medieval world where you take control of the legendary Doomslayer amid brutal wars and demonic invasions. The main feature of the game is piloting a massive 30-story Atlan mech and a fire-breathing cybernetic dragon. These aren't just flashy gadgets, but fully functional combat units with unique abilities and mini-bosses. The combat system is more grounded and tactical. Unlike Doom Eternal, where you felt like a fighter jet, here the Doomslayer feels like a heavily armored tank ready to withstand waves of enemies and respond with powerful melee attacks. Classic strafing returns, and the new polearm shield saw serves both as a weapon and a tool for exploration, breaking barriers, vaulting gaps, and uncovering secrets. Levels are less linear now, giving players more freedom to choose routes and objectives, turning the game into a true Doom sandbox filled with loot, upgrades, and hidden mysteries. Doom: The Dark Ages isn't just a shooter, it's a grand adventure that reimagines the classic formula with fresh mechanics and epic battles. Players note that the music in the game isn't as energetic as in the previous parts, since Mick Gordon, who used to work on it, had a falling out with ID Software, and a quartet called Finishing Move was brought in to work on The Dark Ages. But if you look past that, it's still the beloved Doom we all know and love. InZOI is a life sim developed by InZOI Studio and published by Krafton, hitting Steam Early Access on March 2025. Built on Unreal Engine 5 with generative AI, it lets players craft unique characters called ZOI, design their homes, and dive into a vibrant world where characters act on their own and your choices shape the story. It's often compared to The Sims for its life sim mechanics, but stands out with photorealistic visuals, deep character customization, and a focus on social dynamics and uncovering hidden narratives. Steam reviews at launch were mixed. Players loved the stunning graphics and vibe, but criticized the lack of content and repetitive gameplay, typical for early access. InZOI crushed it commercially, topping Steam's global sales chart in just 40 minutes and selling over 1 million copies in its first week, outpacing Krafton's PUBG Battlegrounds initial sales. InZOI brings a fresh take on the genre with vibrant visuals and an ambitious approach. Though content is currently limited, planned patches and a modding kit could elevate the game to new heights. PGA Tour 2K25 by HB Studios was released on February and marking a solid improvement over its predecessors. The game features enhanced graphics, more realistic swing animations, and the new Avowed system that adds depth to gameplay. Career Mode now includes dynamic tournaments, and the ability to create multiple players with different playstyles broadens customization options. Critics' reviews have been fairly mixed. Many point out that the game still lags behind its main competitor, EA Sports PGA Tour, especially in terms of mode variety and overall polish. Commentary and soundtrack are often seen as repetitive, and some UI elements can be frustrating. Despite this, PGA Tour 2K25 enjoys strong sales in the US, reflecting the series' steady appeal among golf fans. Built on a familiar formula that players appreciate, the game doesn't revolutionize the genre but remains one of the most notable sports releases of 2025. Sid Meier's Civilization VII launched on February, continuing one of the most iconic series in 4-time strategy games. This time, Firaxis decided to shake things up a bit, introducing a new ages system and allowing players to mix and match leaders with different civilizations, opening up a lot of fresh tactical options. Diplomacy gets a boost with the new influence currency, letting players sway city-states or back wars for strategic gains. Dynamic crises like rebellions or plagues, triggered by player choices, add thrilling narrative depth. Visually, the game went for a brighter, more cartoonish style, which sparked mixed reactions among fans. The main complaints from players are the high price, balance issues, and noticeable performance hiccups on some platforms. The new features don't always add to the fun, and the UI can feel cluttered and confusing at times. The game has stayed in the top 10 sales charts in the US for a long stretch, clearly riding on the strength of the brand and a loyal fan base that's always hungry for the next installment. Civilization VII is classic strategy trying to keep up with the times, but with some caveats. It's definitely one of the most talked about and notable strategy releases of 2025. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a true revolution in the JRPG genre, released on April 24, 2025, by the French studio Sandfall Interactive. The game immediately received overwhelmingly positive reviews from critics and players alike, becoming one of the highest-rated new releases of 2025. Its stylish French vibe, heartfelt and deep story, and vivid characters you can't help but empathize with create a unique atmosphere. The gameplay offers a hybrid of turn-based combat with real-time elements. Dodging, parrying, and free aiming make every battle dynamic and exciting. The game world features semi-open locations with stunning visuals, from a decaying Paris to underwater cities inhabited by giant serpents. A standout feature is the deep customization system, allowing players to craft unique builds with equipable perks, gear, and skill trees, tailoring each character's stats and abilities. The soundtrack, composed by Lorien Testard, blends orchestral and prog rock themes, topping Billboard's classical charts and enhancing the emotional narrative. Despite minor flaws with basic enemies in some areas, the game impresses with its depth and polish. Exact sales figures are unavailable, but considering Clair Obscur is available on Xbox Game Pass, it's safe to assume that without it, the game would already be one of the best-selling titles of this year, or at least, definitely in the top 3. It's a rare case when an indie project with French flair and soul becomes a true hit. WWE 2K25 launched on March and immediately became one of the most talked about games of the year. Developed by Visual Concepts, the game features the largest roster in franchise history. Over 300 wrestlers, including legends and current stars. One of the highlights is the Bloodline mode, where you relive key moments from Roman Reigns' dynasty under the guidance of Paul Heyman. The new chain wrestling mechanic added depth to the core gameplay, and the return of intergender matches was a welcome surprise for longtime fans. A major addition is the enhanced MyGM mode, now supporting online multiplayer for up to 4 players, allowing global competition in drafting superstars and managing multi-week seasons with new cross-brand premium live events. The mode also includes commentary-driven promos with branching choices, adding strategic depth. Not everything landed perfectly though. The new mode, The Island, inspired by NBA 2K, drew mixed reactions. Praised for creativity, but criticized for heavy microtransactions. Still, critics were impressed overall. WWE 2K25 holds an 85/100 on Metacritic, making it the best-rated entry since Here Comes the Pain. Even with a few questionable decisions, this game became a major moment for sports games, delivering rich content and solid gameplay for fans of wrestling and beyond. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, released on February by Warhorse Studios, stands out as one of the year's most notable RPGs. The game continues the story of Henry, a blacksmith's son, set in a richly detailed and historically accurate 15th century Bohemia. The The developers expanded the game world to twice the size of its predecessor, introducing new regions like Trotsky and Kutenberg. The narrative offers non-linear quests ranging from espionage missions to nightly duels, allowing players to influence outcomes through choices and actions. Combat has been refined to demand precision and skill. Attention to detail is evident throughout, from authentic architecture to lifelike animations achieved using photogrammetry and motion capture. Critics have praised the game for its deep role-playing mechanics and cinematic cutscenes. On Steam, it holds over 90% positive reviews, with players averaging more than 58 hours of gameplay. Within 2 weeks of release, it had sold over 2 million copies, surpassing 3 million by May 2025. Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 isn't just a sequel, it's a major leap forward, combining historical authenticity with meaningful gameplay and emotional storytelling. Split Fiction, released on March 6, 2025 by Hazelight Studios, is a co-op adventure that has quickly become a standout title. Developed on Unreal Engine 5 and published under the EA Originals label, the game is available on PC, last consoles, and Nintendo Switch 2 from June 5. The story follows two writers, Meier and Zoe, whose sci-fi and fantasy worlds collide after a failed experiment with a machine designed to steal creative ideas. Players must collaborate to navigate unique levels, each introducing new mechanics, from dragon riding to battling cyber ninjas. The game has received universal acclaim from critics, boasting a Metacritic score of 90 and 98% recommendations on OpenCritic. On Steam, over 90% of user reviews are positive, and over 4 million copies have been sold within 2 months. Split Fiction also stands out with its Friends Pass feature, allowing players to invite a friend for free and cross-platform play support. Notably, a film adaptation is already in development, featuring Sydney Sweeney and directed by John Chu. This game is a top contender for the most exciting cooperative bestseller of the year. Schedule 1 is the funniest game on our list. Have you seen how many reviews it has across the internet? On Steam alone, it has over 180,000 reviews, and the vast majority are overwhelmingly positive. This game is pure madness. It wasn't made by a team of 100, 500, or 1,000 developers. It was created by a single person, Tyler, in his independent studio in Sydney, Australia. And just days after launch, Schedule 1 earned over $20 million, topped global sales charts, and hit over 400,000 concurrent players. This isn't just a gaming success story. It's the birth of a micro-empire. Think of Schedule 1 as a Breaking Bad simulator, a strategic, morally gray sim game where you rise from small-time cook to global drug kingpin. Tyler's hands-on approach shines through in the game's dynamic black market system, where players juggle supply chains, dodge law enforcement, and make tough moral calls. Posts on X buzz about hidden Easter eggs, like coded messages in graffiti, or a secret quest tied to a real-world chemist's formula, sparking fan theories. The game's modding community exploded, with players crafting custom labs and cartel skins, boosting replayability. Thematically rich, culturally relevant, and brutally honest, the game hits the same emotional chords that made Breaking Bad one of the most iconic series of our time. Even Vice.com called it a killer title and joked that fans should binge Breaking Bad all over again to truly appreciate this game's genius. It's wild, it's the next level, and it says something about where we are in 2025. MLB The Show 25, the 20th installment in San Diego Studios' baseball series, launched on March 18th and made a strong impression right out of the gate. According to Circana by May, it was holding steady at number 4 in US sales among all new releases of 2025. The biggest change is in the Road to the Show mode. Now you can choose to play college ball with one of 8 real teams like LSU or UCLA, or jump straight to the draft after high school. This fresh twist adds realism without turning the game into a sports lecture. A thrilling addition brings Negro League's history to life through the Storylines mode, with playable legends like Satchel Paige in immersive cutscenes narrated by Bob Kendrick. A new pinpoint pitching system offers intuitive gesture-based controls for precise throws, while dynamic weather, like rain-slicked fields, shakes up strategy. Cross-platform leaderboards ignite intense online rivalries. They also scrap the confusing systems from Diamond Dynasty. Building your team is now simpler and clearer, probably the most noticeable upgrade for fans who love online battles. The game launched on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch, leaving last-gen consoles behind. It sounds like a step forward that will definitely please fans tired of outdated hardware, but it's less exciting news for players still on older consoles. Oblivion Remastered launched on April 22 and quickly became the standout remake of the year, showing exactly how to update a classic. Bethesda Game Studios teamed up with Virtuos to carefully refresh this legendary RPG, preserving its iconic atmosphere while improving graphics and performance. The world of Tamriel shines with a visual overhaul, blending the original Gamebryo engine for game logic with Unreal Engine 5 for jaw-dropping ray-traced lighting, lifelike foliage, and revamped character models. Enhanced NPC animations and new lip-sync tech make dialogues feel alive, while a refined physics system delivers punchier combat. The original soundtrack and location design stay true to the 2006 classic. This remastered edition is available on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC, offering smooth gameplay on modern hardware, along with features like HDR support and an improved UI. According to many outlets, Oblivion Remastered sets the standard for how remakes should be done. Respect for the original with thoughtful technical enhancements, no unnecessary fluff. For longtime fans and newcomers alike, it's a chance to experience a beloved story in fresh, polished form. Released on March 20, 2025, Assassin's Creed Shadows was more than just another installment for Ubisoft. It was a critical endeavor amid financial challenges, declining stock prices, and takeover speculations. Set in 16th century Sengoku-era Japan, players navigate the intertwined stories of Naoi, a skilled kunoichi, and Yasuke, a formidable samurai of African origin. This dual-protagonist approach offers diverse gameplay experiences, from stealth assassinations and parkour to intense combat utilizing traditional Japanese weaponry. The game's world is richly detailed, featuring castles, temples, ports, and villages brought to life through dynamic weather, seasonal changes, and a vibrant ecosystem. A strong emphasis on historical accuracy and cultural authenticity enhances immersion. But fans of factual authenticity do not agree with everything, and often express their dissatisfaction on social networks. While the narrative received some criticism, Assassin's Creed Shadows was praised for its gameplay mechanics and visual design. The title marked a significant effort by Ubisoft to navigate through its crisis and regain player trust. And we move on to the first place in the list. And if all the games in the video were placed randomly, then at the moment this game is clearly the bestseller of this year. Monster Hunter Wilds, released on February 2025, became a phenomenon in the US, topping the year's bestseller list and setting a Capcom record with over 8 million copies sold in the first 3 days, reaching 10.1 million by the end of March. The game introduced a dynamic, open-world environment, the largest in the series. With seamless transitions between lush forests, arid deserts, and volcanic regions, each hosting unique ecosystems with over 150 monster species, 30% more than Monster Hunter World. However, on PC, the game faced criticism for technical issues. Poor optimization, FPS drops, and outdated textures led to mixed reviews on Steam, with a rating of 63%. Nonetheless, Wilds offers significant improvements: the ability to carry 2 weapons, set up temporary camps, and use a wound system to target monster weak points. A new Slinger Pro tool enhances mobility, allowing players to grapple onto monsters or terrain for strategic attacks. Despite technical shortcomings, the game attracted over 1.3 million concurrent players on Steam on release day, making it the platform's 5th most played game. Additionally, in May, Capcom released a Street Fighter VI crossover, introducing free Akuma-themed armor and signature moves, delighting fans with this unexpected collaboration. Comment below which games you think deserve a spot on this list, either already available or releasing later this year. If the video helped you out, hit the like button and subscribe to stay in the loop with all the latest releases and interesting information. Bro hugs to everyone, see you next time.